I want you to hear this morning, okay? The reason this is such a big deal, because it would be easy to just sweep this under the rug and say, yeah, idolatry, yeah, sure, that's a problem, and move on. But the reason it's such a big deal, hear me, because the loudest voice in your heart will have the greatest authority in your life. Whatever has the loudest voice in your heart, whatever you want the most, whatever informs what you do and what you say and how you think, it will have the greatest authority in your life. It will determine the decisions that you make. It will determine the direction that you go in life. It will determine what you think about, what you dream about, what you want more than anything else. It'll determine what you do with your money. It'll determine what you do with your time. It'll determine what you do with your job. It'll determine what you do with your family. The loudest voice in your heart will have the greatest authority in your life. That's why idolatry is such a big deal. And when we decide that something else in life other than God should have our greatest attention and affection and time and energy, we're saying to God, this other thing is better. We're telling God, listen, you're good, but not good enough. I'd rather have this. You know, the reason idolatry is such a struggle is because we look the one who made us and loves us directly in the eyes and say, you're not enough for me. It's a bold statement to look the God of the universe in the face. And we may not use these words, but to say, I'd rather have something else. It's a bold statement to turn to God and say, this other thing gives me more pleasure than you. It's a bold statement to look at God and think or say, you're not in charge of my life, I am. It's a bold and arrogant statement to live a life that's defined by idolatry. And so this is a real struggle, and it's the struggle of every human heart, right? It's a universal problem. Jeremiah 17:9 reminds us that the heart is deceitful above all else, that it's desperately wicked, and who can even understand it, the Bible says. Who can understand? Because all of us fall into this category. And I will tell you, avoid the temptation this morning to go, man, that's very true of my kid. That's very true of my boss. That's very true of my spouse. That's very true of my friend. No. This is a universal problem. It's applied to all of us. And what becomes difficult is when we have the opportunity to admit that it's true for us personally. I'll ask the question again this morning that we'll continue to revisit. What's your idol? What is it that's consumed your attention and your affection? What is it that you spend all your time and money thinking about and using towards?